hi. I just want to know if it's working. Let me go to Twitch to see if it's on my television. I'm gonna see if it's popping up on my Twitch. And it is, yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, because I'm gonna use the purple for my YouTube channel when it comes to the banner or my display name, and then I'm gonna use orange on my Twitch. Okay, so that we. Uh, oh, there's a where I could drop my link to my Cash App. I didn't realize that. Um, Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to see if I can use my. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, yeah, I definitely need to invest on StreamYard better so that I can share my screen. Hold on, you guys, I'm gonna pause that. So, anyways, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining this live stream here on Twitch. It's been a while. I'm so glad to be back. I wish I could have some confettis. It's been a while since I've been on Twitch. I feel like it's been a month or so. But I'm very happy to be back. So you guys will see me every Tuesdays and Thursdays on Twitch. I know today's Thursday. So I missed Tuesday, but it's okay. Starting next week, that's the regular schedule. Tuesdays and Thursdays. You'll see me live streaming. Okay, but every day I'm on my YouTube channel. So with that being said, I'm going to start with today's channel message slash channel vision. The vision that I saw with Tory Lane is that I saw him in a jail cell. Okay, I know that they changed him. He's not at the same facility that he was in after his stabbing and what happened to him. They actually transferred him to a different facility. That's what's been reported. So even with this new facility that he's at, he's still going to be targeted. What I saw is he's in a jail cell, and it seemed like it was late at night because it was very dark inside the cell room. But I saw him, and I'm seeing an individual behind him, another prisoner, attacking him from behind. It was trying to choke him out like this, like he's behind him, and he's like he had his hand underneath his hand and like choking. I don't know. It's weird how to explain it, but basically he was choking him out, trying to. But and then I saw some other things that was like spiritual, like he's protected by something the divine. He's like he has a protection, something protecting him, and but no one else can see it unless you have the eye, unless you have the spiritual eye, like a psychic. You have to have the eyes like a psychic or oracle. And then for you to see what I saw, but he actually has a spiritual protection, something I can't really explain it, but he has something that's protecting him. And although it seemed like he was about to die because the dude really tried to kill him, and Tory Lanez is scared because first of all he's blindsided, like what the heck. With that vision, when I saw that, I got the message that they're trying to get him. They're trying to assassinate him. The reason why is he's talking too much. Okay, so with Tory Lanez's situation, you guys know there's a whole big thing going on with him and Megan Thee Stallion that's been going on for the last 5 years, ever since 2020. It's been going on and off, on and off. Him pleading his innocence, Megan accusing him of actually shooting him, and then they going through the whole court proceeding, and then he was later found guilty, and then the public opinion, swing like back and forth, and a lot of hatred going against Meg and not believing her, and the story kept changing and all that stuff. And during all that process, as the Oracle, I kept sharing to you guys that Tory Lanez is actually innocent of shooting Meg Thee Stallion. He didn't shoot her at all. That has been fabricated, okay, and that has been purposely done. There's also something I also wanted to state. On my YouTube channel, I did like a Tory Lanez Meg Thee Stallion like coding video. With that video, I gave you guys codes on what's about to transpire in the future. One of the codes I mentioned is the company. It's connected to the dot of the company. Who is the company? The company was first brought out from the other decoding video I did for P. Diddy and Cassie. So apparently the company is connected with Tory Lanez and the Meg Thee Stallion situation, which makes sense because I still do not know who that white male was that I saw in my vision regarding the security guard contacting the white male, and he's telling the security guard to keep an eye on Meg Thee Stallion. I never knew who the white male is. So apparently this white male is connected to the company as well as Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is involved in all this as far as basically they try to shut his mouth. They don't want people looking into this. They're trying to silence this story. They want it to be over with. But Tory Lanez is not giving up. So he's like, no. So he is definitely being targeted. I know that's something that's been stated online. And of course, I wasn't like even paying attention to that, but I picked up on it. But apparently that is true. He is being targeted. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going back to my notes, so I have to pull up the Meg Thee Stallion and toilet. Okay, I'm pulling on my notes that I share with you guys. If you guys do not know what I'm referring to, I share all this information on my YouTube channel, which is also called Oracle of the Future. And I share predictions about what's to happen with Meg Thee Stallion. So I'm going to refresh you guys' memory. For those of you who are coming from my YouTube channel, I'm going to refresh your memory. For those of you who are just watching it on Twitch, you just found my Twitch channel, hi. I'm going to share with you what I share with my YouTube fam. Okay, so we have Meg Thee Stallion and the Tory Lanez case. All the people that's involved. We have Torey, we have Meg, we have Kelsey, we have the bodyguard, which is the security guard, the stylist, okay, Meg stylist is very important. Kylie Jenner is involved as well. The company, which is the clue I gave you guys. The key witness was Sean Kelly. He's also involved. The video of them in the pool, that's evidence, and that's also involved in this case. And the doctor that examined Meg foot, okay, that's also part of the case. What I disclosed with you guys is that Tory Lanez was very intoxicated that night. He could have possibly have been high as well, but he was definitely intoxicated under the influence, like to the point where this is some to a point where he will not remember that night. Him and Meg Thee Stallion was heavily intoxicated, okay, to the point where they cannot remember the events or what really occurred that night because they were so intoxicated. So that's why I told you guys they didn't remember a thing. So that's why the story kept changing because again, they don't remember what really happened. The only one who was sober enough to know what occurred was the security guard and Kelsey, which Kelsey was Meg Thee Stallion friend, and she was also sleeping with Tory Lanez. So the security guard again is questionable. Like I said, the security guard was hired, okay, by someone to watch over Meg Thee Stallion, not to protect her, but to get dirt on her. And security guard was there that night, so he was also sober. Okay, so Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion was completely unaware of anything, really, of the chain of events. They were not going to remember anything unless someone told them, the sober people. Okay, so this is what I disclosed to you guys on what really occurred that night. I said, in quote, they were at Kylie Jenner's party, okay, that they got invited to. Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey was there first. Tory Lanez came, okay. They were already drunk when they arrived, and they got more drunk when they was there. I don't know how long they were at the party, but they were there. Fast forward, like there was a certain part where they were in the pool. I did see that. There was a certain part where they were outside the pool. They were sitting on some type of island looking counter area. I don't know what it is called, but it's very long. And I saw them sitting down. At that moment, when I saw Meg and Kelsey sitting down, I saw the stylist there. The stylist was there at Kylie Jenner's house. Meg Thee Stallion, I saw the point of view of her where she was sitting in on the island counter area, like she was sitting by like right in front of it, right, and I see her foot, something below the island table or whatever it was. It punctured Meg Thee Stallion's foot. She got hurt at Kylie Jenner home. I stated that again, but Meg Thee Stallion is drunk. I said she was very intoxicated when she got there, and she was drinking more. So she was drunk and completely unaware that she hurt herself at Kylie Jenner's home. So that's what I saw. I also saw a very brief moment where the stylist looked at Meg Thee Stallion because he noticed that she was limping, but he didn't say anything. That's something I also saw. So they left that night, or they got Kylie Jenner told him to leave or whatever, but they end up leaving. So the stylist from there on was not with them when they got in the car. So they were inside the car, music was playing loud, and all of a sudden, conversation was had. Okay. Something happened inside the car where they were possibly arguing. I don't even think it was like that heated, but there was like an argument, okay, but and to the point where the security guard had to stop the car. Once the car was stopped, they were still in there arguing, whatever. I see Meg Thee Stallion leave outside the car. She didn't want to deal with what was going on inside the conversation that was brought up. Apparently, Kelsey and like Tory Lanez revealed that he was sleeping with both of them. I don't know what led up to that point, but eventually it came out during the argument, to the point where Meg Thee Stallion wanted to get away. She did not want to deal with that. So she got the car and started limping away, whatever, walking away. So everybody else got out the car as well. And I also saw Tory Lanez, again, intoxicated. I don't know how he got the gun, where he pulled the gun from. That part was not clear to me, or was it shown to me. But I did see him have a gun in his hand. His back was facing away from Meg. He wasn't even facing her direction. He wasn't even facing the direction of Kelsey or the security guard. Meg Thee Stallion was far off. She already walked away, like, because she's the first one out the car. Tory Lanez and Kelsey and the security guard was far off, but they were watching the situation, and Kelsey was paying attention to Meg, and then what caught Kelsey and the security guard's attention was Tory. Tory was yelling, like, again, he's intoxicated, and he had the gun in his hand. I don't know how he got the gun. And all of a sudden, he just started shooting at something. It seemed like he was pointing at something like the ground or whatever, but he wasn't pointing at anyone. He was pointing down, but he was shooting the gun. But again, he's drunk. At that point, Kelsey and the security guard is looking at him like this. They're not in fear. They're not running away. They're just looking at him like, okay, he's really, really drunk. They can tell themselves like, okay, this person's really, really drunk. He's like not really, but they wasn't in fear. I even saw the security guard rolling his eyes when he saw that. At that point, the security guard pulled his phone and contacted somebody. I saw in the other line of the phone who he was speaking to. He was speaking to a white male. To this day, I do not know who this white male is, but I did channel something and I said, write down the company. The company is connected to this, and it will all make sense later on. I said, okay, so the company is part of my decoding and also channel message I got with the Diddy case. So that's all connected too. So anyways, the security guard is on the conversation with whoever the with the white male. He's on the phone with him, and the white man told him to keep an eye on Meg the Stallion, not to protect her image or anything like that, but they wanted dirt. Okay, they wanted to blackmail her. Okay, so the security guard understood what he needed to do, so he kept watch of the whole situation. He didn't approach Tory Lanez or try to de-escalate the situation, and he got the gun away from Tory Lanez or something like that. The gun got the security guard took the gun away from Tory Lanez. Okay. At that point, we see Meg coming. As the security guard is approaching Tory Lanez, I see Meg limping back towards where they were. And she limped back towards like Kelsey, but she didn't want to look her in the eye because of everything that happened that was revealed, but she was also still drunk. Um, she didn't even realize that Tori was shooting at all until Kelsey said something. That's how intoxicated she was. Because Kelsey noticed that she's limping and she's like, wait, did you get hurt? Did Tori shoot you? That's what Kelsey said. And all of a sudden, Meg was like, what? Shoot. And then that's when Meg realized that Tori was shooting. Okay. She didn't even realize at first. Because again, he wasn't even pointing at her direction and she was very far off. If anything, anyone who could have got hurt that night by that gun, it should have been Kelsey or the security guard because they were not that close to him, but they were close enough for it to be hurt than Meg the Stallion. That's how far off that she was. So that didn't make any sense to me. Even if the gun ricocheted, it still didn't make any sense. So that was something that was disclosed. Uh, so the Meg the Stallion did went to the hospital. Like the police did come. They questioned them and all that. She went to the hospital. There was a doctor that examined her foot. That is a very misleading story right there. With the whole doctor, the doctor is a very questionable person. What was reported, because I feel like the original report that I saw was the doctor didn't say that she was shot by a bullet or anything like that or a fragment. It was something else that is said on the original report. I'm gonna find it and eventually update you guys on that. But the original report wasn't that she was shot. Okay, and I know there was a lot of talks about glass, like she stepped on gas or whatever, but that was what Megs told the police officer because again, she was intoxicated. She didn't even know what really went down that night. All she know was based off what Kelsey said and what she saw with Tory Lanez, like him having a gun. So she didn't even she wasn't coherent enough to know what was going on, and so she decided to lie. Not I feel like not necessarily to protect Tori, it was just to protect the whole situation because she was not aware. She did not know who shot her. Or she didn't even realize she wasn't shot. Yeah, I said that her foot was actually pierced by some type of pipe at Colleen home. I said pipe, but again, I don't know what it was. It's something that pierced her foot. And it wasn't even that deep as well. Um, Kelsey was unaware of the part where the security guard was on the phone with the white man. Kelsey was not aware of that happening or who he was talking to or anything like that. She was focusing on Tory Lanez, what was going on with him. Uh, the bodyguard is some type of informant. I mentioned that. So basically, Meg Thee Stallion, she does not know what happened that night, as well as Tori, to this day. Kelsey have some shape form. She was sober enough to be aware of it. So this is the code that I shared with you guys. Put next to Kylie Jenner, no pun intended. That ain't my problem. Put next to Kelsey, which is her name is Kelsey Harris. Instagram thought. Okay. The stylist is I spot in my eye, which is I kind of explain everything to you guys. What he spotted, the stylist, he spot make the stallion lipping. He actually saw that. Um, the bodyguard is some type of spy. The bodyguard, aka the security guard, his name is Bradley James. That's his name, Bradley James. Apparently, to collect the dot this whole story with Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion and that white male that was on the phone with the security guard. It's all connected to the company. Who is the fly? Yeah, who is the fly? Who is the spy? Which is the white male that I saw. Who is he? What was his true intention? Yeah, Tory Lanez is very out of his mind, very intoxicated. I wrote Sean Kelly. Okay, Sean Kelly was actually a witness that was called for the trial. This witness claimed that he saw two women fighting. Supposedly, he was paid to keep the story away from Kylie. So apparently, I channeled this message actually. Sean Kelly is the witness that was called for the prosecution team to explain what happened, what he saw. And basically, he said he saw Kelsey and Meg fighting, but apparently that's false. He did not see anything. He was not even there that night. He was actually paid off by a third party. Do not know who the third party is to keep the story away from Kylie. The reason why he was paid off during that time when the news broke out about what happened. Tory Lanez shot Meg Thee Stallion. This is very big. Um, that's all that people talked about. Um, People was very in shock that they were at Kylie Jenner's home. That's all they kept talking about in the beginning. So whoever paid this witness to be a false witness is involved as well. So there is a third party here. So next to the witness, there's a third party. Someone paid the witness off. Um, yeah. There was a gun. I do not know who the gun belonged to or even how it got in the hold of Tory Lanez. That part was not clear to me, but I feel like there's more that's going to be shown to me or what really occurred that night because there is some missing parts. But as I know more, I will share more with you guys. There is more. Tory Lanez was then sentenced to 10 years in prison. We still don't know who the gun belonged to. That was not disclosed to me. So that's why I feel like I'm going to have more visions about what really happened that night and who the gun belonged to and how it got a hold of Tory and what happened to it afterwards and stuff like that. There was a channel message I said that 3 years' time, the bird will fly. That's the code. Basically, I said that Tory Lanez will be released from prison within 3 years, 2 to 3 years. Okay, that is his time frame. He will be released because again, he is innocent from shooting Meg Thee Stallion. However, he did shoot a gun. So, and I was told I'm aware that he is a felon. So I guess that's a big no to even have a possession of a gun or even hold a gun or fire it in that type of setting. So who knows with that? I guess it's going to be time served for that. Um, but apparently there's going to be revelations revealed to people about what happened that night. So the story is not over. It's not over yet, you guys. I know people want this to be over with. I know people want this to be dead. Like, oh my gosh, it's been 5 years. Like the story keeps changing. Everybody has said this and said that. Like, I know that I get it, you guys, but the truth will come out. The truth will set you free. And apparently the reason why it's still talked about because the truth have not been set free of what really happened. And Tory Lanez is innocent. And given my channel vision and the message that I got with this, is Tory Lanez is being targeted. They're trying to assassinate him. So the stakes are very high, and people need to be aware of how serious this is. It's very, very serious. Very, very serious. So I will leave that there. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching today's Twitch. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.